Let's travel down the Nile. The Nile flows from south to north. So as we travel down the Nile, we are actually traveling north. What city is farthest south? Aswan is the city that is farthest south. Abu Simbel, a 3-hour drive to the south. Across the desert, we find Abu Simbel. Ramesses the Great built this to show how far his kingdom stretched. He had 4 large statues built of himself in front of the temple. You can see one of the statues has broken. Look how tiny the people look near him. This is not the last time we will see a large statue of Ramesses the Great. The walls inside are decorated. The outside used to be painted as well, but the sun, water, and weather has worn the paint away. Inside, where the paint was protected, the colors are still there. Okay, it's time to take out that notebook. Let's begin by drawing Abu Simbel. So we go with a line here, down, down, and another line across the bottom. Alright, let's get the door in. So a line across and down. And I want to draw the 4 large Ramesses statues. Remember, the third one doesn't have a head. It's broken. Okay, make a line down. Make another line down, just like that. And we'll give this one a body. Alright, there we go. Now let's give them some legs. Okay, diagonal lines. And some faces. Oh, let's add some feet first. Then we'll add the faces. Okay, everyone gets 2 feet, and they're sitting. That's right. Okay, Ramesses needs a face. Looks a little bit sad. Alright. You can choose to do yours however you like. But I think this gives us a pretty good drawing of what we saw today. Now, let's write down what this is. Abu Simbel. Alright. Great. Wow, that was really cool, wasn't it? Ramesses must have been a very powerful pharaoh. All right, let's take our boat ride a little bit farther north. Remember, the Nile flows from south to north. It's one of the few rivers in the world that does that. Our next stop is Edfu Temple. But we're also going to have to get off the boat and drive. I hope you're ready. Looks like we're about to stop again. Okay. So, can you find Abu Simbel on the map? And then can you find Aswan? Now, we drove from Abu Simbel to Aswan in our car. And now we are taking a boat down the Nile to Edfu. Edfu. That is a representation of Horus, the falcon god. Here we have a large statue of a falcon with the crown of Egypt on its head. Edfu Temple was built in dedication to Horus. Horus is a god represented by a falcon. And you can see here on the wall there's a couple of pictures of Horus. Now these temples were made to represent the Nile. The door in the center represents the Nile River, and the large left and right sides represent the land. Wow, Edfu was really cool to visit. Look at all this work on the walls. Alright, we need our notebook again. Let's draw something from Edfu. I think we should draw the Horus statue. So let's start by making an S. And then kind of making it look like a fat S here. And then the bottom tail. Alright. Put a line there and make the beak. Then I'm going to make the eye. I'm going to come down to the beak. And then kind of follow the S shape downwards to about there. And then a straight line down. Now a straight line across. And I need to start making some lines for his feet. Okay, make the pharaoh crown on top of his head. And then kind of a moon shape here at the very top. Okay, finish the base. And let's write where we are. Edfu. Capital E, D, F, U. Let's sail farther north and cross the river to Luxor Temple. Hey, what animal is that down by the banks? Luxor Temple. Luxor Temple once had 2 obelisks at its entrance. Now, only one remains. The other one is in Paris. Where is Paris? Do you remember from our obelisk lesson? The temple was built to honor pharaohs. These columns once held a stone roof. It must have been amazing to see. Okay, time for our notes again. So let's start by drawing 2 straight lines. And these are going to be the bases for our obelisks in front of the Luxor Temple. Now remember, the obelisk on the right side is not there, so we don't have to draw it. Oops, let's fix that a bit. this is going to be our picture of the Luxor temple. I'm going to draw some fake hieroglyphs down it so it looks more like an obelisk. And on the bottom, I'm going to write Luxor, capital Luxor. Karnak Temple, the largest temple in Egypt. It is connected to Luxor Temple by a 1.5-kilometer road of sphinxes. You can see here men are working on the sphinxes today. Karnak Temple. This room is called the Hypostyle Hall, and it's known for its tall columns. Two obelisks are at Karnak Temple. One is 29 meters tall and weighs 628,000 kilograms. Just look how small the people are compared to these columns. Can you even imagine how the ancient Egyptians could build them? Different pharaohs kept adding to the temple over many years. That is how it got so big. Hey, who's that? All right, time to use our notebook again. I'm going to start by making 4 lines that go across and then up. Now, if you are drawing a little bit slower than I am, you can pause the video. All right, I'm going to make an additional line so that I end up with 4 rectangles. Now, my notebook has these dots I can use to make straight lines by tracing them. If you need to use a ruler to make straight lines, make sure you grab one and use it. It's okay if you need one. Can you guess what we are drawing in Karnak Temple? Okay, I'm going to draw 4 horizontal lines, and then I'm going to draw down. If you haven't guessed it already, these are the giant columns in the Hypostyle Hall. Karnak is the biggest temple anywhere. It is enormous. Now I'm going to add some lines down here. And at the top, I also want 4 straight rectangles. Okay. Now, I'm going to draw the connecting parts on the top. And then the stone beams that went across the columns. drawing one big, long, straight rectangle. Then I'm going to put some lines in it, because there was actually many blocks that were up on top. Okay, and we are finished. Now let's spell Karnak. Capital K, A, R, N, A, K. Let's cross the Nile River and go to the Valley of the Kings. Egyptians believed that after they died, they would rise again in the next world. They preserved their bodies so they could use them again in the next life. Burying mummies in pyramids became a problem. Pyramids were very large and easy targets for robbers. Pharaohs began to hide their tombs in the Valley of the Kings. Now, hop in. It's a long walk. Over 60 tombs have been found here. Let's go explore one. Hieroglyphs and artwork decorated the walls of the tombs. Here I can see Anubis with the jackal head and Thoth with an ibis head. I wonder who these other people are. I wonder what it says. Okay, let's go down deeper and see what's at the bottom of this tomb. We've reached the end. Where is the mummy? Sadly, this tomb was robbed too. I wonder what these say too. Can you recognize the hieroglyphs? Tutankhamun. The most famous pharaoh was Tutankhamun. Not a lot is known about him, but he's very famous for being the only tomb discovered with almost all of the treasure. He had over 5,000 objects buried with him. Okay, it's time for our notebook again. So let's draw something from the Valley of the Kings. Find the next page. Let's see. I'm going to draw a straight line. A line down and a line down. And then two diagonal lines and a flat bottom. Can you tell what I'm making now? It's Tutankhamun's burial mask. So this is going to be his beard. A line down the middle of the beard. And then 3 diagonal lines on one side. And 3 diagonal lines on the other. Now the eyebrows. And some oval eyes. Don't worry if yours does not look exactly like mine. I had to practice these drawings a few times before I even put them on the camera. It's very tricky to draw these things. Okay, I'm going to add an oval mouth with a line through the middle. And then I'm going to add some eyes. Okay, that's the face. I need some ears. And luckily my notebook has dots, so I can line them up as best as possible. Alright, now we're going to make the cloth headdress of the pharaoh. So I'm just going to do this. I'm going to come down diagonal on both sides. And you can see I've already not made this perfect. We're just here to have fun and to write down and draw new things that we see on our journey. Don't stress out if your drawing is not perfect. Okay, I'm going to cross on the bottom just like that. And then we're going to go straight up. And I'm kind of aiming towards the edges of the face. I'm going to go in a bit and then connect with the face. All right. Now I'm going to draw lines. So I'm going to draw 2 lines here, right in the middle. 2 lines on the side, and 2 lines on the other side. Those are going to be the stripes of the headdress. Now, these ones I'm just going to draw straight across. So 2 lines, and 2 lines. And then the same on the other side. 2 lines, 2 lines, and 2 lines. And I'm going to color them in. Very quickly. You can choose other colors. You can take more time if you like. You can practice your drawings again. There we go. I think this is a good addition to our notebook. And to remember where we were, we're going to write Valley of the Kings. Capital V-A-L-L-E-Y. Okay, capital K-I-N-G. Up, and squeeze that S in there. All right. Whew, we did it. All right. So we need to look at our map again. We haven't looked at it in a while. Look at the bottom at Abu Simbel, where we started. We then drove 3 hours to Aswan. From Aswan, we caught a boat to Edfu Temple. Then, we took a boat again to Luxor Temple. After drawing the obelisks, we walked down the road of sphinxes to Karnak Temple. After Karnak Temple, we crossed the Nile River to the Valley of the Kings, where we entered into one of the tombs and looked at all the great artwork on the walls. Now we're going to catch a boat again and go all the way down the Nile to Saqqara. Can you see Saqqara on the map? It's in northern Egypt. Now, you can see that northern Egypt is also called Lower Egypt. It's called Lower Egypt because upper and lower were measured by the direction that the Nile flowed. Lower Egypt is the low part of the Nile River because it flows north. Hopefully you remember that Saqqara is the home of the Bent Pyramid, the Step Pyramid, and the Red Pyramid. So let's hop on a boat and check it out. All right, here we are on top of the boat. Sure is windy up here. And we are heading down the Nile to Saqqara. This is the west side, or the land of the dead. This is the side we will eventually see the pyramids on. I wonder what kind of animals are in the water here. I don't see any animals. Let's continue heading down the Nile, north towards Cairo. Our next stop is Memphis. the ancient capital of Egypt. Can you find Memphis on your map? Memphis. Not much remains of Memphis. Just lots of stones and some large statues. What's this statue called? Oh, right, a sphinx. Here is a statue of Ramesses the Great. It's so large that it's called a colossus. Do you remember where we last saw a statue of Ramesses the Great? That's right. Abu Simbel had many statues of Ramesses the Great. Not a lot left. This city was once one of the largest in the world. Now, let's go check out the pyramids. There are actually lots of pyramids in Egypt, not just the 3 pyramids in Giza. Here is the Step Pyramid. Why do you think it's called that? This was the first stone building in the world. It is nearly 5,000 years old. The Step Pyramid is 62 meters tall. Is that bigger than our school? Ah, snakes! After the Step Pyramid, the pharaoh Sneferu wanted to fill in the steps and build a true pyramid. His first attempt crumbled. Do you think he gave up? He didn't. He tried again. However, his next pyramid was built on sand, and the sides began to collapse during the building. His builders changed the height of the pyramid and finished the building quickly. This pyramid is called the Bent Pyramid. What's strange about it? Sneferu did not want to be buried in the Bent Pyramid. It was too unstable for his mummy. Just nearby, he tried again. This time, his builders got it right. They built the first true pyramid ever, the Red Pyramid. Let's drive there now. The Red Pyramid was once covered in white limestone. Now the red limestone beneath is exposed. All right, time to take out that notebook again. Memphis was pretty cool, but I want to draw something from Saqqara. So let's draw the first pyramid ever built, and the first pyramid in Saqqara, the Step Pyramid. All right. This drawing is going to be very easy compared to our last ones. The only thing we need is 4 rectangles that get slightly smaller as we go taller. Straight line down. One more. All right, there's the Step Pyramid. Now we need to write Saqqara. You're going to find Saqqara spelled all kinds of different ways. I usually spell mine with 1 K, but you might see it with QU or 2 Ks. There we go. Not far from Saqqara is Giza. Sneferu's son, Khufu, wanted to build a pyramid like his father too. He built the tallest pyramid ever. It is 146 meters tall. Khufu's son Khafra built his pyramid next to his father's. He made his pyramid just 3 meters shorter. During the building, the workers found a giant sandstone. Unable to move it, they carved the Sphinx. The Sphinx's face is that of Khafra's. Just like the Red Pyramid, Khufu's and Khafra's pyramids were also covered in white limestone. You can still see some of the white stone at the top of Khafra's pyramid. Menkare's pyramid is the smallest at Giza. Power of the pharaoh at this time was diminishing. That means going down or being lower. He made up for his small pyramid, though, by decorating the bottom of the outside in granite. Remember, this is the same granite that the obelisks were made from. Can you see the granite in this picture? You can see all the granite around the pyramid. It is now on the sand instead of on the pyramid. Hey, who's that? All right, time to draw something from Giza. I think this one is going to be pretty obvious. We should draw the pyramids. So we need Menkare's pyramid. Khafra's pyramid, much taller. Still has the white limestone on top. It kind of looks like a mountain here. And Khufu's pyramid, slightly taller than Khafra's. And I'm going to give it some lines across. And these pyramids are in Giza. Let's add the Sphinx in front of Khafra's pyramid. I'm going to do my best job drawing a Sphinx. Alright, give it a tail. There we go. Alright, Giza, capital G. I. C. A. And we have a drawing from Giza. Alright, our final time looking at the map. So we traveled all the way north to Saqqara. Here you can see they spelled it with 2 K's on this map. And then close by that, we went to Giza, where the 3 pyramids are. And across the Nile, we're going to head to Cairo, our final stop. Let's go. Let's go across the Nile. We have finally reached Cairo. Here we can visit the Ancient Egyptian Museum. Lots of history can be found here. Do you recognize this? This is from that photo of Howard Carter. This is where many of Tutankhamun's belongings were found. It's time to say goodbye to Cairo. I hope you enjoyed your trip down the Nile. All right. Well, it's time for our final drawing in our notebook. I had a lot of fun in the museum, so I think I'm going to draw something from there. I'm going to draw one of the coffins that the mummies were in. Those were so cool looking. Okay, there's the feet and the head. Let's see, give it a kind of a shape here. Kind of give it a face. And I'm going to add a little bit of detail. All right, and Cairo. Capital C-A-I-R-O. All right, back to our hotel in Giza. Not too far from Cairo, where we can go to bed, rest, and relax for a new adventure tomorrow. Don't forget to finish your drawings in your notebook. If you need to go back in the video to see the drawings again, you may do that. Once you are all done, take some pictures of your drawings and add them to the student response. I would love to see what you drew and how you drew my drawings on this adventure. Well, I hope you learned a lot on our trip down the Nile. Time for me to go to bed. Good night, boys and girls.